All right. Darrah Walker, um, can you let everyone know who you are and how your journey began?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Darrah Walker. My journey began uh, January 4th, 2020. It was a month to the day I had meniscus tear surgery, and the doctor had just left from my home, just checking on me, making sure everything was okay. And the second he closed the door, I got a really bad headache. And I had history prior to having like migraines and things, but in this particular day, it was just very unbearable, and I lost consciousness. I woke up in the emergency room, um, very faint after that. Like I don't remember too much of anything in that time, but I remember my sister said it was 10 days later. I remember her putting my clothes on, and I was at home. And so I was looking at her like, what are you touching me for, And she asked me like, are you back? And my middle name is Angel, so that my family calls me Angel. Angel, are you serious? Is it you? Are you back? And I'm like, what do you mean? And so her eyes got teary, and she was like, you've been in the hospital for a long time. We don't know what was wrong with you, but they sent me home with you. They sent you home with me with all this medicine, and I'm scared. And I was like, what do you mean? And so the medicines caused me, so many side effects to it, but it was hallucination, depression, and like every day I had like a whirlwind. So um, I asked her one day, like, what happened? Why did they send me home? And she said that all days I was just sitting either throwing up, crying, complaining, or asleep. She said I had stopped eating. She said, and I think like day 5 or 7, I can't remember, but she said that she started giving me sea moss. So she's my younger sister, and she would make us, since about 2018, 2017, she would make us this little tray of sea moss every month, all little sisters, and think that we supposed to eat it. And sometimes I would, deal with it, but other days I didn't. She said, well, she looked in the back of my refrigerator and I had the sea moss there. And so she said she started giving it to me, sea moss, 3 times a day, 2 to 4 spoons. And she said when she came back to the hospital to see me the next couple of days, that's what they said. Like, well, she's doing fine. Her vitals are coming back, and we're going to send her home to you. And so she was like, well, so I didn't know what to do, but I knew I couldn't have you in the hospital because I felt like you were dying in there. And so about a month or two, she stayed with me and my children. I'm a mother of 4. At this time, my children were all, teenagers. And so she helped really, help me with the children and helped me personally. I couldn't really do anything. I remember one time I tried to sneak out. My sister went home to get her clothes, and I called one of my friends like, hey, come and get me and take me shopping. And in the episode, I didn't even, like, I lost my memory. Like, it was really bad times. And so she was just like, we don't know what's wrong with you, Angel. You have to stay home until everything is fine. And I just remember, like, God, what happened? What's up? What are you trying to get me to do or stop doing? Like, talk to me, please. And I remember opening my Bible to Genesis 1:24. I created the earth and everything in it for us to eat and be healed. And that's in Genesis 1:29. Never saw that scripture a day in my life, but was awakening by that. And so I took it as a message to, do as what the Bible, what God had gave me a message to do. So I started studying herbs. We had already had sea moss. So knowing the benefit of sea moss, with March 13 in Indiana, the world shut down from COVID. So like then that was like the birth of the population, like everyone being hip to sea moss. But like I said, my little sister had been on it for years. So it wasn't new to us, And so incorporating that, my family was so afraid to not see me. So they kept staying around me, with me in the background, learning different herbs. 2 of the herbs that I found out was dandelion and echinacea. Those are natural antibiotics. And so if I had an infection, because they didn't know what was wrong with me, I treated myself as if I had an infection. And then I made a tea. I call it healing tea. Today is 14 different herbs in it to help boost your immune system to fight off any infections. things like that, help with your nervous system. And I gave it to my family as they came to see me because I didn't yet know what was wrong with me, and I didn't want them to leave with any infections or any sicknesses of the sort. And so that's kind of much how Queen's Healing House was birthed. First, it was Queen's Healing Shop. And one day I was walking down my stairs and just thanking God and asking Him to keep my family. He revealed to me the name was Queen's Healing House. And I was nervous, but one thing, when I know that God speaks to me, I accept it, even when I don't understand it. And here I am today.
Nice. So what does wellness mean to you, not physically, but spiritually and emotionally?
Mind, body, and soul aware and actually implementing it, applying it, helping yourself to get through whatever it is, like you said, mind, body, and spirit.
And how do you feel that, spiritually and emotionally and physically, like how do all those things tie together for your physical healing?
So I think everything starts with the mind. So a man thinking in his heart, so is he. That's the scripture that I always would hold to. You have to have faith, but you also have to have that know with all that, to understand that this is my current situation, but this will not be my future situation, and you begin to make the steps to make sure, even if they're baby steps, that you can get and overcome them.
What are some of the myths or misunderstandings about herbalism that you encounter often?
Oh my goodness, I am not a witch. Oh my gosh, it's not crazy. I don't do witchcraft. I don't do any of the sort. I'm not a doctor, my goal is to be the change, not to put a bandage over things. And I have no disrespect for doctors or hospitals or anything, but I just learned that in doing things the natural way, there's no side effects from it. And in turn, it's not just curing one thing, it's helping with another one, and it strengthens your faith within God, because if God created this and I needed this to help me, it just for me, it connected a stronger relationship with Him.
So thinking about, we're talking about spirituality, we're talking about almost kind of like being on a particular path. How would you say some of your past experiences has prepared you for this part of your journey in life? Like maybe jobs you may have had, experiences, skills that you may have picked up. How do you feel that they contributed to your current position in business and wellness?
I would say patience. I used to go to church very, very heavy, and I dealt with so much whiplash from me being who I was being. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but my pastor and I was very, very close, and so the associate pastor, the wife of the church, when she tell me to give him one piece, I gave him one piece, dealing with special ed children, I had to really get into, get down, meet them where they were, and I would say within this health and wellness, I meet people where they are, and I bring them to where it is that they need to be at. And it's actually a partnership with it, and so that's what I would say that has helped me to, be where I am as a businesswoman too, because I had to sustain foundation and make a stance for a lot of things. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it gives you a lot of strength and the ability to connect with others.
Oh, for sure.
And have patience for other people.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone who wants to begin a more natural or holistic healing journey?
Start with self. I couldn't do any of the things that I do today for others if it didn't happen to me. I was a victim of COVID 9 times during the COVID season. And a lot of people would, even some of my family members, how? And you see my queen, how? You know this and this. And I couldn't answer that question at the time. But I remember this COVID, this particular time, had gotten really, like, had taken me under. And I got to the point that I told my children, like, go on downstairs. Don't let nobody take this house from you guys. Like, I was that sick. And what I was so offended, because I kept taking COVID tests and they said I didn't have it. It was when they took my blood, is when they said that that I had it or whatnot. But it was nothing for me to do. And so I was just like, you know what? And one of my baby, she said, no, I'm not going anywhere. And in my spirit, God just gave me the strength. And out of it, I think burdock root. I had remember reading up on burdock root maybe weeks before. And I told Angel, my baby, go get me some burdock root and mix it with some sea moss. And I remember I took maybe 2 spoons of it and woke up the next morning like with nothing wrong with me. And I was like, what? What's going on? And okay, God. And then knowing the benefits of burdock and what it does, I was able to not just say, well, I heard this do this, but no, I took it and this is what happened to me. So actually being the example, actually going through the certain things that I went through, then I can better tell someone about how to overcome it, how to be patient with it, what not to do. And I know all of our bodies isn't the same, but typically we meet at certain levels, like for instance, how much chicken inflammation has in chicken or, dairy products, how it does our body, and making sure that we incorporate ginger and things of the sort that's a mucus buster, key limes, that all would typically run on the same person's body, contingent on how much they incorporate this herb or the food, And so just being able to be real and authentic with them versus, oh, you have to take this, and if you don't take this, this is going to happen. Just asking them, why aren't you? How do you feel? And, allowing them to not just be intentional, but respect our bodies, respect and love ourselves on a level to be more intentional about what we're doing with it.
Yeah, and I understand you mentioned about like inflammation. How important is understanding how inflammation affects our bodies? How important is that? And what are some of the steps that you think people can take immediately to maybe see a difference or improvement in their health?
Okay. Currently, I fell about 2 weeks ago and did some things to my shoulder. And I don't have my brace on today. I had my MRI Friday. Don't get me wrong, it still hurt. But I drink, and that's why I'm draining. Because I ate pizza last night, and but I took like 4 ginger shots before I got here.
Right.
So it's all draining. It's coming out of my nose, and it's removing the inflammation from the swelling. So just being intentional, it's very important, So as much as you're doing wrong, I can't leave pizza alone.
Right.
I have to incorporate something that's going to help remove that mucus out of my body, because where it's affecting me in my drainage in my arm, some people with arthritis, broken body parts and things like that, the inflammation would come around that part injury. It could be you played volleyball or track 20 years and I injured my back. When you have that inflammation in your body, it sets on that pain, on that nerve, and it starts to swelling, and it starts that pain to come. So if you are cleansing your body with the right thing, and of course proper exercise, it will help release that pain.
Okay, and so how do you prioritize self-care in your own life as an entrepreneur and a healer?
Get in my business. So that was a huge challenge for me, because not just as an entrepreneur, a healer, but a mom. First, I was a mommy. I've always been, it's for them, and I'll be okay. It's for them, and I'll be okay. And today, I'm learning it, even that my children are grown now, self-sufficient, it left me to be by myself, and I wasn't okay. And so it helped me you can't be anything for anybody if you're nothing to yourself. But I remember saying that in tears, I'm nothing. I had, because I gave so much to them and I then couldn't take care of myself, So today I don't leave my bedroom without taking my herbs for myself, drinking my water for myself, speaking life into the mirror to myself, asking, doing those self checks. Darrah, are you okay today? And it's okay not to be okay. But when you know that, what are you going to do about it? And sometimes that calls just pushing, or sometimes it's just being still and asking and going in depth. Why aren't you okay? So that's where I am today. And I wrote a accountability book a couple of months ago, last month. And it came from me having to get in Darrah's business, learning my blood type, understanding that my feelings and my emotions mattered, accepting me for where I am. I have a lot of controversy from me being a woman, a plus size woman. How and you're a herbalist? It didn't take herbs to get me this way, nor food. Life, how it hits you, causes to put pounds and mental on your mental as well on you physically. And so just unlearning that, healing yourself from that, once you continue to love on yourself, all things that's not meant for you will remove you from it. And so accepting that's in one part of my book. And daily journals to myself, shopping lists. Like I used to be all over the place, and now I'm just this is what I'm doing, and this is just having more order and structure for me. And I know that I'm not the only one that have that issue. So I just wanted to share that to be a blessing to others. Just another product, another tidbit to, be the change.
And how, what are some of the signs that, something isn't right for you in your life? And, sometimes things that you are connected to can be troubling or challenging to remove. So is there any advice that you may have for first recognizing and then removing, making that a little easier for people?
The mind tells the body what to do. So it matters what you're feeding your mind. I remember saying that I can't stop eating, even in this situation with me not eating pizza. I know I don't supposed to eat it, but if I consciously tell my mind, don't eat that chicken, that pizza is not good for you, then that will go away, and I wouldn't even put myself, the situation wouldn't come up that I have to order the pizza or I will want to order the pizza. So just being intentional about what it is. Sometimes you could talk and just to blow smoke in your face, just to make it to be an illusion. But when you're really intentional about it, you get in your business. You want to change that. And some things that are blinders that you can't see, I ask God to remove them, to show me what it is that I'm doing wrong. Because sometimes it's not the person or the thing, it's me and how I'm taking it, So asking Him to reveal and give me clarity overall is one main point that I would say overall.
Okay. And so you just mentioned that you've created some tools. I know you have your wellness workbook and your digital templates. Can you share a little bit about how that process was, as far as being motivated to do so and just getting through it for other people that may want to do a similar project? What was that process like for you?
Taking notes on receipts, writing down my thoughts, laundry list, things to do, appointments here and there. And it's like, where's that orange sheet? It was an orange sheet, and it's like, you threw that away months ago,
Right.
And so I began to get like a notebook and started writing everything on that notebook. And as things came to me, it's like this is my mini Bible for myself, And so what I would encourage people to do is to sit with self, get in your own noise, in your own chaos, in your own silence, and study who you are. Study that thing and then apply it. What would I like to see, We have so much negative things that we can adapt to, increase, encourage in this world today. But how can you be the change, Instead of complaining about what's going on, how can you better your situation? I was in the hospital for 10 days with major doctors, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. I thank them for keeping me and not pulling the plug, but not just giving me the wrong medicine, because I had to sit. You know, God had to remove my mind thoughts. I don't remember anything in that hospital. But when I came home, I began to read the basics. You know, I began to, and I didn't even, I started with like audible books, you know, because my mind had really depleted. But it's all about how bad I wanted it. And I didn't even know it was about the others, you know, other people. I thought it was just, you know, for me, you know.
Right.
And so when I began to be more, I'm a giver. So that was never a problem. But when I began to sit with Darrah, love on Darrah, feel and accept and heal Darrah, it drew a whole broader crowd that's unbelievable, you know. And it's not for me. I don't do anything for me. It's not about me at all. It's about the knowledge that I share and what we apply. That's what it is. I always tell people, they will ask me after my events, how did you do? Oh my God, you must be so tired. They swamped you. And I always say, I always do great. And it's not about the money amount. It's about what I shared and how you're going to apply it, you know.
Right.
Because that knowledge that I give you, you can take to your family and share it with your friends and your co-workers, and you can change the trajectory of your family's source of health and wellness, you know, and your friends, you know, just that thing, like getting back to that, sharing that knowledge is what it is. You know, it's enough for us all to make and to unify, you know, and that's just what I want to be a part of.
Right. So what's one lesson that you've learned as a business owner in the wellness space that you can share?
Oh my goodness. Maybe investing in yourself, because my phone will ring at 4:00 in the morning and I would think I had to answer it because, oh my God, what is it? No, you're sleep, sweetie, stay sleep.
Right.
You know? So making sure you have that cutoff time for you, yourself, you know, your family, and with them, you know, teaching that respect boundary level. Because at first I just thought I had to save everybody that was around me, that I had to go and research everything and be there for everyone. And God's like, nah, chill out. So that's one thing. Take time for yourself.
Right. So how do you stay connected to your community and support others on their path, I'm sorry?
I have a saying that I only want those who need me and who find me, because I'm intentional about my time. You can make money all the time, but you can't make your time back, you know. So I don't want to waste my time. So it's more of a front to front. I had a customer one day come to my store and she was like, I was driving all up and down Chicago Avenue for you. Where's your signage at? I said, you found me, did you? She said, I did, Queen, I did. It was intentional. The spirit meets the spirit.
Right.
You know, I don't want to change the world. I just want to change the people that's in my world. You know, the people that are connected to me. So my social media pass, I'm all for that. I don't care about that. I don't want a website, because those questions that people are so uncomfortable to ask can't be typed in. They have to hear my voice and I have to hear their voice. That trust and relationship has to be developed so that you can, you know, let down your guard and share, you know. So I'm more of a person, you know. So
yeah. Okay, so and what does legacy mean to you when it comes to your brand and the work that you do?
I am a legacy wealth builder. My great grandchildren will be doing what I'm doing. It means everything to me, because once we understand what we're yet dealing with, we be the change that we want to see, you know. So it means a lot.
Nice. So if you could leave your audience leave the audience with one empowering thought about you reclaiming their health or healing, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. The more you love you, the more you help millions. That's what I would say.
Nice. So what's next for you and Queen Healing's? I'm sorry. What's next for you and the Queen's Healing House? Any upcoming projects or visions?
Yes, I'm going to start, oh my goodness, therapy school to be a massage therapist. And I'm also going to get into depth with the aesthetics and things like that, because within the next 5 years, I'll have a wellness center.
All right. And how can people get in contact with you to maybe purchase your book or even your products that you provide?
My store location is 901 West Chicago Avenue. That's in East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. My store hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 2 to 6. On Saturdays, they're from 10 to 5. My cell phone number, the business number, is 219-341-7104. Yes, that's the number. I can be reached by text or call. My email address is info@queenshealinghouse.org, and those are my page. That's how you can reach me.
And you know what? Let's just a quick overview of the products, services, or anything that you provide. That, or I know you do consultations too, right?
I do.
Awesome. So let's just a little bit about that before we wrap up here.
So the consultations are pretty much, I used to charge for it, but we talk more 45 minutes, and it's like, why am I doing that? So drop in on Saturday is the best days ever, because I'm in there all day, and typically it's tea time. So whatever tea that you would like at the time is in the store, unlimited. We sit and talk, listen to music. That's how those consultations work. You can call in and make an appointment, but it really isn't a problem. There's no scheduled thing. I do have workers that will assist the other staff, customers in that take, but consultations are very important. I don't want people just coming in. They said I need this. They said I need. No. We need to start at one at a time. So people are new, fresh to the knowledge of health and wellness, or even my products, I like to give them a chance, but to hear what it is that they have to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. And we can't wait to share your light and wisdom with our audience.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.